Had the right mindset for the game, and they basically just jumped on us and kept the lead the entire game, made it really tough on us. So you look at them this season, same thing. They started out 3-0, they had a tough stretch in there for a while, but the thing that's obviously caught my attention and hopefully our team's attention is what they've done the last 2 weeks, playing Minnesota through an overtime game 2 weeks ago, or I guess maybe it's 3 weeks ago. It was a bye weekend there, and then last week, 55 minutes into the game, it's 14-10, playing at home against Penn State, who's, a very talented football team. So they've got, like any Michigan State team, it seems like they've got talented players. They look good in their uniforms, and they do have a mix of young and old, a little bit, probably playing a few younger guys more than they like, but they've got talented football players. They're very, very capable. So, I'm just looking at the way they played the last 2 weeks, and I think that's about all we need to do right now. The last part of it is just, you're in Big Ten play. Anytime you're in conference play in November, just expect it to be tough. It typically is. So that's our outlook on those guys. Kid captain this week is Ray Walker, 7-year-old from Indianola. And at age 1, he started having brain seizures or issues with those, and as many as 20 in a day, I was told. So came to the family hospital here, Stead Family Children's Hospital, and the care team recommended a surgery. It ended up being a 12-hour surgery, and moving forward now, he's a 7-year-old and doing very, very well. So just unbelievable some of the things that take place, but great story that way. He's a really, 5 years right now. He's been, seizure-free, so that's a good thing, and enjoys being outside. He's got some animals on their acreage and likes to read, and just sounds like a tremendous young guy. Last 2 things on my list, just want to salute Mark Abbott. He's going to, you got John Campbell a couple weeks ago, and now you got Mark Abbott calling it quits after 26 years, and he had to follow legend too. Father Bob was just I don't know how long Father Bob did it, but a great voice in Kinnick, and Mark's done a great job likewise. So just wish he and Mary Jo all the best as they pull back out of that realm. And then last but not least, certainly is we'll get to recognize 28 seniors on Saturday. It's a great group of guys. It's always kind of bittersweet, I think, for everybody involved. Certainly for the players, it's the last time they're in Kinnick, which is a really special thing for each and every one of those guys. And then the parents are right there with them. The parents ride the roller coaster. Sometimes it's worse, I think, for parents than it is the actual players, the roller coaster of emotions and all the things they go through during a career. Some of them 4 years, some of them 5 years, and then even a couple of them were 6. So pretty amazing there. So, some guys are household names to Hawkeye fans, certainly. And then you've got other guys that jump out. You think about a guy like Zach Tweed, who's probably better known for being a good Samaritan. A couple of years ago, helped that family who was in need on I-35, I think it was. Been a tremendous guy on our team, and just a great team, team member, team leader, and also, does a great job in the classroom. Kelby T. Lander, who was an honorary captain as a young kid, and now he's been a really great contributor as a walk-on in our program, and special teams player, tremendous young guy. Think about a guy like Kyle Krogh, who's really hasn't seen much significant playing time, but he's been an unbelievable guy behind the scenes, working on the scout teams. He's played through injuries, and unfortunately, had to quit this year mid-season due to injuries and medical procedures, that type of thing. So he's finishing out his career, but I don't know if we've had a guy in 20-plus years with a better attitude, better work ethic, that cared more about the team. And then a guy like Jeremiah Pittman, who's a little different circumstance, was anticipated to be a starter, and same thing, ran into some medical hardships, and I don't think this year has gone the way he envisioned it, and none of us did probably, but that's part of the game, unfortunately. And another tremendous young guy, excellent finance student, and my prediction is he'll probably be running a company here in the next 10 years. Just an outstanding young guy as well. So every guy on the team really has stories, and certainly the seniors have longer ones because they've been here for a long time. So, like I said, it's always a little bit of a bittersweet thing. Got tremendous respect for each and every one of them to run the entire race. All of them have a higher standard in terms of citizenship, academics, and then the football part of it. It's a lot on everybody's plate, and to be a Big Ten student athlete is really a challenge, and to do it in football, I know a little bit more about that. Unbelievable challenge. So, just nothing but top respect for all these guys, and just really be grateful for the fans in Kinnick to have a chance to salute them, honor them, and then certainly it's not the end of their careers here, but very, very special day, and be a challenge for them afterwards just to kind of get back on the ground and get focused on our game. That's always the tough part of it. So that's the challenge in front of us right now. We're tough, ready for another tough competitive Big Ten football game, and I'll throw it out for questions.
Tyler Tashman with the Des Moines Register. Looking at the passing offense from last season to this season, numbers, completion percentage, yards per game is pretty much on par between last season and this season. Can you pinpoint maybe why there hasn't been that sizable growth into this season?
Yeah, I think we're a little different team, just the way we're made up and the way we do things right now. And a lot of that is, obviously, is contingent on the quarterback and what he does best and the way things have panned out. We're running Mark probably a little bit more than maybe we would have anticipated going into this whole thing. But that's kind of just how things have developed. And, certainly not perfect. We've missed some throws along the way. We've had some protection breakdowns at times. But I think overall the guys have done a good job. And, it's just kind of the way our team is. I think each season unfolds in a certain way. And each, you learn about your players and try to do what they do best. And that's just kind of how it's materialized.
Chad Leistikow, Des Moines Register. I wanted to ask about the 3 offensive linemen that got hurt. Looked like Bo hit a helmet-to-helmet maybe. The other 2 guys, it's kind of hard to tell, maybe lower body. Is that fair characterization of those? And then, what can you say about the severity of those injuries? You said they're not 100% chance, but is it like 5% chance that they'll play?
First thing I would say is it didn't help the cause Saturday, obviously. It's one of our strengths right now. And then, I'm not real good on percentages, but, I think it's all realistic to think all 3 of them have a good chance to play. And but we're being very careful with what we do daily right now, and probably no more certainly Thursday, Friday. But right now I'm optimistic, but cautiously optimistic, I guess. I don't know what percent that is. Is that like probable, non-probable, whatever? Yeah.
Sorry, I'm on the mic.
Yep.
But,
I can hear you.
If
Yeah.
one of the guards only one is down, late would be the guy.
Yep. That's who's going in.
How do you feel about him?
Good. He's really done a great job. I can't remember, it was a couple of weeks ago where he jumped in there and I thought really did a good job. And, again, we get to watch these guys in practice. You guys don't get that exposure for guys that aren't playing as starters. So he's really just growing with every phase. And, we got great confidence. I thought he did a nice job again Saturday. And, if he's the guy in there, he'll do fine.
Tom Kakert, Hawkeye Report. Wanted to ask about T.J. Hall. He was in a sling. That would seem more severe of an injury. What would you say about his possibility this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, just it's a he's got an injury, but just about the sling and the boots, like those things, everybody gets a sling or a boot. Like if you got any kind of injury, and I don't mean that I'm not being facetious or not judgmental at all, but that's kind of like standard protocol. So it really doesn't indicate the severity, good or bad. But yeah, he's working through it too, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not overly optimistic, I guess, out of all the guys that got injured, but we'll see. And if he doesn't go, Deshaun will jump in there and do a great job. Just all these injuries, feel good about the guys going in, but you start getting stretched in a little bit. We're not unique. I mean, every team in the country is going through this, and this time of year. So but Deshaun will do a great job. Little Zach and next man up, Jalen or Rashad Godfrey, whoever it might be.
Madison Hurtzik, the Gazette. I wanted to ask about the senior class a little bit more.
Yep.
They had a rather unique start to their college journey, being in that weird COVID start. A lot of them didn't get a full senior season in high school. Very, very different first year for college. For them to be able to overcome that to start a college career and then continue to grow into some of the leadership roles you were mentioning earlier, how have you seen this class develop through a rough beginning and then to where they are now?
Yeah, I could talk for a half hour on that topic. It's just because we all lived it, I think all of our lives were, our worlds got rocked that year. But as a coach in college athletics, or I guess coaching at any level for that matter, but especially in college, I think it was really impactful just because of the things that you cited. A lot of those guys, some played in the spring of their senior years, some played in the fall. Some didn't play at all, and depending on where they were geographically, you saw kids move to a different state sometimes, so they could play. Just all kinds of crazy stuff that you would never expect to happen. And then, to hit the nail on the head, I remember they got here in June. Back then, everybody, for the most part, came in June, and basically they were sequestered to the dormitory. They were allowed to live in the dorm, come over here and they could train, but small numbers. And then they had to go back to the dorm. I think downtown was totally shut down. So what a way to start your college career. In some ways, it maybe was a benefit because they all had to kind of draw together. It was basically them and nobody else. There was nobody else around here. But all that being said, just a weird time for our country and certainly a weird time to be an incoming team member. And I guess they're a little bit more fortunate, the average student, because at least they had a support network here in this building. But all that being said, yeah, it was really a strange thing. I was extremely worried at that point about what's it going to do to these guys short term and then long term. Long term, they've been great, and maybe that's why these guys have been so close. Maybe it was rooted in that. But we also had some fatalities, if you call them. That's a strong word, but some losses along the way, just because I think of the weirdness of this time period. Where guys just decided not to play or what have you. So it was one for the books, and hopefully none of us go through it again.
Hey, Kirk, Elliott Clough, Hawkeye Insider. Wanted to ask about the two players that played Mike linebacker on Saturday, having Jaden Harrell, what appeared, at least for a good chunk of the game, was on first and second, and then Jaden on third, and when they went forward on fourth. I guess what was the thought process between playing both of those guys?
Yeah, it's a little bit like, if we got 4 DBs, do you take Deshaun out? Who do you take out? I think the biggest point I would make is we consider all 5 of those DBs starters, and same thing with the linebackers. We didn't know about as much. I was going to say Jaden, but didn't know about as much about Montgomery game-wise until he had to go jump in there. I believe that was Wisconsin. So he's done nothing but gain everybody's confidence. I think we all feel great about what he does and the contributions he makes. He's a good player, great leader. And so it's just probably a way to get both guys involved. I guess that's the best way I could describe it. Give them both a piece, some ownership, and try to reward the fact that both of them are really doing a great job.
Tom Kakert, Hawkeye Report. Wanted to ask you more about some of the guys that you've kind of acquired over the years that are seniors now. Like the one-year guys, you're kind of betting on something there that they'll fit in and assimilate to the way you guys do things. With Mark, Jonah, we talked to those guys today about, what's that process like to find those guys and make sure that they're good fits for you guys and how they've worked out for you?
Yeah, I'm smiling. I'm not laughing. I'm smiling, but I'm thinking ahead already about, what's going to come up here because of the new calendar. And, it's going to be more blind dating this year than ever, which is really scary because, to your point, vetting and just having a good feel, is this going to be a good place for that player? Is this player going to be, fit with what we do? It's got to be a mutually beneficial arrangement, hopefully, but it is speed dating, almost in some ways, social media dating. Not that I've ever participated in that, but I've heard about it, and it does work at times. So it's interesting to say the least. A little bit of it's a crapshoot. And then, the other thing is your thoughts. I thought about this earlier. I'm talking about the guys 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. A guy like Jacob Gill's only been here 2 years. Yet it feels like he's been here 5. Like he has just been an unbelievable fit here. He's all that's good in a football player, person, outstanding student, just shows up every day, works hard. He's not the biggest guy, but he's taken a beating over the last 2 years. I say that, weekly. He's sore on Sundays typically and Mondays and Tuesdays, but the guy shows up and just works with a great attitude. So, he's like, the kind of guy you love to have in your program for 4 years or 5 years, and we got him for 2, so I'm appreciative of that. But it is a crapshoot, and the biggest thing is, you hope it fits for the player. Like he gets here and he's really comfortable in the program, and because if guys are comfortable, then they have a chance to use what they got and really, prosper and hopefully have a great experience. And that's the whole objective, is for everybody to walk out of here feeling good about what they've done during their time here. That's what you're hoping for.